Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by Girhan. Today, Girhan, right? Am I pronouncing it right?
That's
Girhan.
fine, yeah. Girhan,
Girhan.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine and obviously a boxer as well. And Girhan, can you introduce yourself to these people? Can you tell us more about yourself, basically?
So, as Abraham mentioned, I'm Girhan. I'm a retired, not retired, ex-semi-professional MMA fighter,
Hmm.
and I'm currently an amateur boxer with a ton of experience in the combat sport. I'm also a coach. I've coached in many big teams. I've trained in Amir Khan's gym. I've coached there. I've trained two. I've trained two world champions that went out, that won the title, and in like an exhibition contest. So far I'm doing good. I'm still on my own journey to turning professional. Hopefully next year. I got some injuries going on, so hopefully turning professional myself and continue with my career.
Yeah, honestly, that's amazing to be honest, because I always wanted to ask you about sort of like your trajectory in trying to become a professional boxer. And so my question is, how has COVID-19 coronavirus really impacted your ability in terms of turning as a professional boxer?
Uh, effect the effect of COVID-19, it hit not only me, the other fighters too. So like as fighters, especially, I was in a 64 kilogram category
Yeah.
when before COVID-19. I was on 2019, me and my team that we deciding that we were going to turn professional on 2022. And when the COVID hit, obviously there was no competition going on. I couldn't get training. I was being lazy in the home. I couldn't get outside. So that effect that really did to me, it was like I increased the weight. I increased the weight, I increased the size ability. So I couldn't really get back to the natural weight I'm meant to fight at 64 kilogram. Like
Mm.
right now I'm walking around 80 kg. It's just no matter how many times I tried to be in a clean diet, my body would not adjust to that 64 kilogram when I was naturally in. And that also it affect my training. There was no sparring, there was no pad work. I couldn't go get pads. I couldn't get the elements of the boxing that you really need to get your hands sharps and stuff like that. There wasn't there, and just normal runs and shadow boxing doesn't really help. You need a coach, you need your team around you to push you through it, if that makes sense. And since that COVID happened, plus like some of my families are vulnerable, and I don't really want to go out because I know a lot of people just say like, "Oh, I don't really care. I'm gonna go do what I gotta do." But obviously, health comes first more than anything else. So that was the one reason I just like stood back and I was like, "Do you know what? Yeah, let it be."
Honestly, that's really bad to be honest. I mean, we all know a lot of people have been impacted by COVID-19, obviously negatively, and you're one of them as well, right? And obviously trying to
Yes,
turn
sir.
towards a professional uh a boxer. But would you say that alongside COVID-19, would you say sort of like would you say there's it's hard to balance out education and becoming sort of like a professional boxer? How is it like learning and becoming a professional boxer? Is it sort of like complicated?
In terms of studying,
Yeah, studying, yeah, like so does it take a
uh,
lot of your time?
yes, it does. Obviously, like you just mentioned yourself, like assignments. Once they pile up on you, you can't get really focused. Take the time out to, because when you're in a competition, you want to be in that environment of training. You gotta
Mm,
go get your runs done in the morning. You want to come afternoon. You want to get your body rest, get your nutrition, get your protein, and you're ready for your next session. But in terms of like when you're in an education system, you gotta be like, oh, first of all, I'll miss the morning runs because I need to be on the 9 a.m. lecture.
mm.
Then after that, when I come back, maybe I have another lecture. So the only session I would get, it would be like the late night session. So I missed a lot of like my main duties, like leading up to the fight. So like I miss my sprints, I miss my conditioning. The only time I'm gonna get training is at 8 o'clock to like 10 o'clock. And obviously you cannot overwork your body. There's injuries and stuff, like you can get injured, your body will overwork and stuff like that. So yeah, education does plays a big key, and especially doesn't it affects your timing because you just want to focus on one aspect of your life, but it's things are just piling up on you. It make it really difficult,
It
especially
does,
for a
yeah.
boxer that is like, especially a fighter like me that I do not just only education, but I do a lot of stuff like coaching and stuff like that. and that just piles up on you, and it kind of like takes your focus away, draws you away from that fight mode or the fight camp. It brings like you mind is all over the place, but it does make you like struggle a lot, and makes it difficult for you to adjust timing on that.
Yeah. And would you say all the things that you do on the side, obviously helping people out with their boxing and education again, all together just makes it even much harder to become a professional boxer, right? Overall.
Yes, it does. It does. Like I said, it's difficult. It makes it very, very difficult. Like I know people that train 3 times a day, 4 times a day, because they have time. They don't have anything else to do. They just train to be a professional fighter.
Yeah.
But obviously, I have other commitments,
Mhm.
like I said, mentioned, like coaching, education, going in, doing other stuff. So it takes a bit. Yeah, it's difficult. I'll be real. It's really difficult.
And tell me more about your goals in with regards to sort of like what are you aiming for like in the next 5 years with regard to boxing, and are you sort of like really looking to compete as a professional and become a world
Yes.
champion at one point, right, in 5 years' time?
My aim is to become in 5 year time. I will definitely will be a world champion. I will definitely be among the greats. I'll be definitely be in the ranks among the greats.
Yeah,
That's one of the goal, and obviously being a world champion and defend my world champion, if that
defending.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean that's
Just
one
not
of the,
winning it.
yeah,
Winning is not only like, oh, I want to win a world title. Defending is very important. As a champion, you need to defend your belt to make a territory of your mark. So in a 5 year time, hopefully, inshallah, like I will be there. That's my 5 year time goal.
5 year time. Hopefully, mate, you're definitely gonna make it happen. And
No,
especially,
brother,
I
appreciate
mean,
it.
I've seen you. We haven't sparred together before, but I mean, you've trained me. Obviously, you're the coach at MMU, right? I've seen you. Definitely, you're capable of it. To be honest, but what would be your sort of like biggest advice for people who are aiming to become professional boxers, not footballers, but boxers? Like maybe not myself, but people out there, so students who are training boxing, amateur boxing, but nowadays it's very difficult to get to the professional level. What would be your biggest advice for them?
My biggest advice is like just just listen to your coach, stick in your lane. A lot, especially in teenaging time, people get distracted by other stuff that's not really important.
Yeah,
People get distracted by like parties, get distracted by with chilling with friends. There's some of the friends have they're having a good time and they're like, oh, I want to have the good time. Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna miss the session today. Like, make sure to have a correct time guidance,
mm,
correct timeline. Keep yourself around people that really want you to do well. Keep yourself around people that want you to do well. Keep yourself around people that want you to succeed, and just focus on yourself. Train hard, eat well, and just be in the guidelines of just listen to your coach, listen to your mentors.
yeah,
Always speak to your parents. Always take advice from your parents, because at this stage, especially at the stage of where we are right now, is like your family is your biggest supporter.
support it. Yeah,
Uh, just being around them, and like a lot of people don't listen to anyone. They'll be like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing." But no,
yeah,
you have every person in your life, every person you meet in your life, it plays an aspect in the situation. If that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. That makes
So
perfect sense.
so listen to the people that should be listened to. If that makes sense, just don't take their advice out of like, oh, I know better than you, but no, I'm not going to take your advice. It's always like, especially when you're trying to turn professional, because turning professional is extremely hard thing to do. From the medicals to your coaching to find the right promotion, to find the right management, to find the right medical team, to find the right cut man, to find everything from is extreme hard job to do. And that at that moment of time, all you need as people surrounding you with nothing but positivity and willing to support you and showing you the light, the path to follow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, honestly. And my biggest question actually for today is I just want to know sort of like what is your nutrition like? Training and sort of like what do you eat? What's your nutrition like?
uh
Your
if
diet,
I'm
yeah.
My diet for a fight obviously would be uh we just is like it's clean eating. Like I'll eat a lot of like
Yeah.
chicken breast, a lot of like I'm right now I'm trying to I've only like trying to get like in this vegan stuff. vegans are doing very well, even though like it performs very well because it got a lot of fiber in it, a lot of fiber, a lot of vitamins
Mm.
that keep my body very, very like. I used to like when I used to come back home from like hard training session. I used to wake up and I used to just really like red meat and stuff like that. I used to feel like bloated, if that makes sense. But since
Yeah.
like when I come from a hard training session and I have like a bit of chicken breast and a loads of vegetable next to it, I feel very good. Like my sleep has been very good. My pattern, but like I wake up fresh. I wake up more energetic than ever, and I drink loads of water. My key to my nutrition is water.
Water.
At least, at least like I get 4 gallon of water in a day.
Four
Water is like
gallons.
no, not gallon. My bad. 4 liters. Sorry,
Oh,
my
liters.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, four
Yeah.
liters. No gallons. I'll be dying right now. Yeah,
Probably
four
with
gallons.
the
4 liter of water.
yeah, yeah.
4 liter of water I'll get in a day. That's one of the even water is not a lot, but it plays a big factor, especially for boxers. Hydration is the key. If you're dehydrated and if like your body will not perform as well, even though you have your rice, your chicken, your carbs, your protein, your vegetables, your minerals, but you got to keep your body hydrated to perform well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And can you tell me more about like weight cutting as a system in
Yeah.
amateur boxing? How does it work?
Amateur boxing, well, a lot of amateur boxing, like if amateur boxing, like a lot of them is like you find a similar. You walk around like let's say if I fight that's 70 kilogram, I walk around 72. So it's not
72.
yeah, it's not really a big cut.
Not a big cut, yeah.
Not a big cut. No, some people even like manage to fight on the same weight class, the same weights. Like some people are like 70 all naturally because they're not fighting really. Because amateur is just based on experience.
Experience,
You
okay.
just it's just experience. Amateurs are experience. You're building up for a bigger game, bigger fights. When you go to Olympic and stuff like that, when you entering bigger stages like Golden Gloves, then the weight cut might play a big, not even a big factor, but play a role because you don't want to, because it's like a tournament and you're going back to back to back. So
Mhm.
you don't really want to cut too much weight and make your body really weak. So if you cut too much weight and you be on too much water load and you're trying to dehydrate that,
Mhm.
you'll be all right for one fight, but the next fight you won't be very as effective, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Uh, but the weight cut really affects you if you're in a professional game.
it does.
Like I was scheduled to fight on actually not long ago. So I was scheduled to fight on 6th of March. We are 7th today. So yesterday I was meant to box,
You was meant to fight
but
yesterday, yeah?
I was meant to fight yesterday, but the fight got cancelled
Oh,
because of the weight cut. Because of the weight, I couldn't make the weight. I was over the weight. I was 77 kg,
and you need to
and I
cut
was
down a lot.
meant to fight at 72 kilogram, and that is a big chunk to get reduced in a very short space of time.
Wow. Yeah,
It's a
that's a
very
huge,
short
yeah.
space of time,
It really
and
is.
that's not that like is a life and death situation. Like water load, I would not advise water load, but it's got something to happen if you want to be stronger on that situation. If you want to be stronger on the fight, and you want to you want to make your opponent to feel your shots, you gotta. It's a
I
messed
mean,
up game, but
to give them that power, yeah.
yeah, you gotta give it like that's what I'm saying. It's a messed up game, but is the water like your kidneys can fail, you can die if that makes sense. Like I know people that literally seriously harm themselves, and plus some people doesn't know what they're doing with that water weight. You can pop your heart like if you dehydrate yourself to so long, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden you start chucking in things that you're not meant to chuck in. Your heart will pop because your body will be go through a shock.
Yeah.
It's just like how can I say,
Yeah.
man? What
Isn't that like
wake
the problem back in the 1980s where because generally it takes longer for like the brain to hydrate itself than the body in general, and back in the
Yeah,
1980s there was a lot of boxers, or there was a series of boxers who died as a result of
yes,
dehydration because of weight cutting,
yes,
right? So essentially that's the
yes.
same problem that you're talking about, yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know. Like obviously back in the time, we didn't have like better scientists, better nutritionists
Yeah,
to educate the body very well. Like right now, people are educating body like there's people like in the UFC. If you've seen the Jorge Masvidal weight cut, a 20-pound one,
yeah.
they done that very well. They already knew what they were doing. They didn't let him to they didn't let him to get to that like point that he could die. But
Mm.
he made the weight, not safely, but he made the weight without seriously harming himself. A lot of people like back at the time, when they cut the weight, they didn't knew what like what to take after that fight, if that makes sense. What to take
Mm.
after that weight cut. Uh, People like us, when you cut your weight, you need to get like a coconut water,
Yeah.
get your body slowly back on the track. Make sure drink plenty of water. Like maybe back at the time they used to cut the weight, drink the water, and hard pop. Maybe they didn't know when to let like when they would try to cut the weight, they didn't let the body know. Okay, at that 20 minutes of sauna, I need to get out, let my body rest for another 10 minutes, then I'll go back in. They just say no. Do you know why? I will sit here till the end. That's really affecting to your body because your body get overheated and your
Overheated.
body,
Yeah.
yeah, your body does not know what's happening to it when what's trying to do. You're cutting the water, you cutting the main supply of your body, you're cutting completely for like a one day. I think we start on Thursday and the weigh is like on Friday, so it's like what and a day and a half. You're completely cutting the water out of your system.
So what
I
days do you
mean,
like normally fight?
Saturday. I thought normally Saturday.
Mm.
It's Saturday, so the weigh will be Friday, and the weight cut journey starts like mid Wednesday. It will go on to Thursdays. Obviously, before that, you water load. You will start 2 liter, depending on your weight,
Mm.
but you start 2 liter, 4 liter, 8 liter. Some people even go 10 liters of water in a day to flush the sodium out of the system.
Wow. Is that
Get
what they
so
drink a day? Yeah.
yeah, drink a day. They depending on your weight, depending what your plan is.
Yeah.
So mine is only was like obviously this is a big chunk that I was talking about my fight, but normally I do like 8 liters,
8 liters.
eight
Okay.
li- 8 liters, 8 liters to maybe nine of water. So then obviously your body will you're trying to get your body used to that water. You're trying to get your body used to that 8 liters. So once you cut the water off,
Yeah.
then you wait because your our weight is 80% is water, our body weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the weight just naturally not naturally, but no, because you don't have that water, your weight just comes down straight down because your body is used to because you're making your body used to feel like 10 liters of water in that period of time before the
Yeah.
weight cut.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden you're cutting that water off and your body's like in a shock and the weight just goes down. And plus you sweating extra on a sauna
Hmm.
to get the extra water out. So your body is extremely drained.
Yeah. And most people have never had to. I have never had to do a weight cut before, obviously. But so essentially, what you've explained is weight cutting is just basically largely about cutting down on water in your system because water makes up a larger percentage of your weight than anything else, right? So if you cut down
Yes.
that water, you cut down a large percentage of your weight basically, so you can make up like the weight going into the fight, right?
Obviously, nutrition plays obviously you need to eat very, very clean
Yeah.
leading up to the weight cut. You need to things like sodium plays a big like if you want to drink loads of water, you food at a certain times your food needs to have really high sodium. So
Sodium.
your
Okay.
body
So that's salt, yeah.
salt, yeah, and it's salt, anything that contains sodium.
Yeah. Yeah.
So salt like I want to drink, like I was saying, like I was want to drink like 8 to 9 liters of water. So I'll make sure I put loads of salt in my food. So when I
Mhm.
eat that sodium, my body will require thirstiness. Then I can drink the water very easily instead of like forcing myself drinking it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my body will require that water to drink. So loads of sodium. Then you wanna flush the sodium out because you wanna get contain more and you're gonna want to drink more water.
So
It's
sodium basically forces you to want to drink more water, right? And so
yeah,
when you
because
drink a
you
lot, yeah.
so you want to put sodium in your like leading up to the weight cut. You want to add sodium to your food
Hmm.
so you can be like normally when you feel like, especially when you like you cutting your carbs, you're cutting your protein, you're cutting your fat, you're starving yourself.
Yeah.
You just saying that you just don't really want to drink a liter of water back to back, do you? Not really. So
Not
you as
really.
a yeah, as a nutritionist, you need to know like if you like as a nutrition, if you want what type of food you want, you need to know like what you need to add to your food that will give you an edge to your weight cut. So when before you starve yourself, so you know like how much amount of salt I'm gonna put in my food, how far I am from my weight cut. So let's say
Yeah.
if I was far away, like, and I'm starting my water load a week ahead, so every meal I will have, I'll stop adding loads of salt,
Mm.
make my body contain the sodium, so I'll be more thirsty,
Yeah.
and slowly leading up to the weight cut, I'll cut the sodium slowly out. I'll cut my food out. I'll cut my carbs out. I'll cut my fat out. I'll cut my protein out, and I'll start chunking the water, flushing everything out of my body, then jumping on the sauna and hoping for the best, making the weight.
Yeah. But honestly, that was very, very informative, to be honest. I think I've learned a lot about nutrition, to be honest. Like, I don't know much
So
about it, to be honest, especially in relation to boxing, but you've explained it perfectly, honestly. Absolutely incredible. And my final question before we go, because I told you it's going to be about 20 minutes, right?
yeah, that's fine,
Uh,
brother.
this is probably a question that I should have asked you at the start of the interview, but anyways, because I'm new to all of this, right? But
Yeah, no
so
problem.
yeah, what really got you into boxing? Basically, that's the question, right? How did you start? What got you into boxing?
I started as a MMA fighter, then I moved to boxing. What really got into me is a funny story. I used to be a gamer. Yeah, right.
I
I
can
used to
tell.
play game. I used to play a gamer.
Yeah,
I had nothing to do with violence. I had nothing to do with violence. I
yeah,
was born peaceful. I had
yeah,
nothing to do with violence. I was just having a. I was just like, let's say I was like 11 years old, 12 years old.
yeah.
I had like an argument with my brother. And back
Mm.
in the day, my brother was a professional fighter. Yeah, so we had an argument with my little brother. Obviously, us being siblings and us being brothers, I gave him a bit, and he gave me one really hard.
Yeah,
We had like a fight, and he gave me really hard, and I really felt that at that moment that I was very weak, and I didn't really like that. If that makes sense,
yeah, yeah,
I was like, "This is my brother. That's fine. He's my brother. He loves me. He won't harm me in any way of any shape or form.
yeah,
But if I be out in outside world, if I get if I get in a like a situation that I need to defend myself and I cannot defend myself and I get beaten up, that will
yeah.
be that now I'll get serious harm. So I went as a mindset of self-defense. Then
Okay,
self-defense turned into a passion, and passion turned to a career.
Korea.
It
Yeah,
was I was like I said, I was never violence. I was born peaceful.
peaceful. Yeah, and it's
Yeah, I was born
basically
with
yeah. Go on.
Yeah, I was born peaceful. I never violent, so I always went as a self-defense. I wanted to just to be available to defend myself. If I get in a combat situation, I should defend myself.
Yeah,
But
and
I'm yeah, go on, mate. Go
yeah,
on.
yeah, it's that feeling of not wanting to be sort of like vulnerable, right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's just like obviously any kids wants that. Like any kids would like to like. I've seen like I've been obviously I went to the school over here. Like I've seen a lot of kids being vulnerable in a lot of situations
yeah,
because they didn't knew how to defend themselves. They didn't knew how to protect themselves from like some certain situation.
mm,
Like me joining boxing or me joining MMA, just not only I learned self defense, but I've learned many aspects of other part of life. I learned a lot of respect. I learned a lot. Like he helped me through like every problem I had. Like competition saw it out for me because I was in like a guidelines and a respected environment that I knew how to earn, how to get things, how
yeah,
to. I gotta work hard to get this. I gotta work hard to get that. I
yeah.
see other. I see my mentors, like they are well known. I'm like, oh, I want to be there, but I need to work hard to get there. If that makes sense. Anything I've done, it was helped through the combat sport.
Yeah,
Anything I've done, anything I achieved, like wherever I am right now, it was because of combat sport. And I went as a self defense
yeah,
to learn self defense, but right now I'm about to turn professional in my boxing career. So
yeah.
that is like I never thought if I look at myself back in the time,
Hmm.
I would never thought in a millionaire that I would be compete. I would want to compete with amongst the best. I would never thought in my million lives. But look at me right now. I am on my way to be there.
Well, Girhan, honestly, it's all about progress, to be honest. And I definitely believe, from obviously seeing your work ethic and obviously training with you as well, I definitely think that within like the next 1 or 2 years, definitely you're going to be some big name within the sport of boxing. And
My
being a
brother,
fan of
appreciate that.
boxing, I can genuinely see that, especially the work ethic. I mean, I watch your stories all the time and just seeing you just working constantly. I'm like, yeah, this guy's work ethic is just absolutely fantastic. So
My
definitely
brother, appreciate it.
within like 1 or 2 years, definitely you're going to become professional. So
Thank
yeah,
you, sir.
definitely, totally, mate. Honestly, and I'm definitely rooting for you. I'm going to be out there, you know what I mean, maybe as a journalist one day, and I'm possibly going to be
A hundred
interviewing you.
percent,
Yeah,
100%, man. 100%.
that's
Hopefully,
going to be an
100%.
honor, mate. It really will be.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah,
100%, man. Anytime for you, brother. Anytime.
anytime. Yeah, and I just want to say I really appreciate the interview as well. To be honest, it
No
means a lot.
worries. No
Yeah,
worries, bro. No
it
worries.
means a lot.
Anytime for you, man. No
Yeah,
worries,
yeah.
bro. Anytime, sir.
Honestly. Yeah, so I'll just end this recording and I'll see you soon. Anyways, maybe
Yeah,
tomorrow
no
or
worries.
Friday. Are you gonna
Friday.
be
Yeah. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll see you on Fridays. Definitely. Yeah.
No
But I
worries,
really
bro.
appreciate it though. Really
No
appreciate
worries,
it, bro.
mate. No worries. Anything else, brother? Just give me a shout. You know, you got me on Instagram and everything, right?
I will, yeah, definitely,
No
mate.
worries, bro.
All right,
Have a
take care,
lovely
yeah.
day. Yeah. You
You
too,
too,
yeah,
mate.
man.
See you later.
In a bit.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.